Hey yo, what's up, wrestling renegades? Strap in and grab your popcorn and get ready for a suplex straight into the wrestling carnival of the cosmos. Welcome to VK Punk Wrestling, your soon to be recognized heavyweight champs of pro wrestling madness. I am your chaos maestro, Vin C, Punk, here to sling you through a heart pounding, jaw dropping roller coasters of body slams, mic drops, and enough passion to make a steel cage blush. Tonight, we're diving headfirst into Friday night SmackDown and last night's Money in the Bank with our patented Yay Boo breakdown. And trust me, this one's got more sparks than Roman Reigns' spear through a flaming table. This ain't just a channel, guys. It's the beating, electrified heart of the VK Punk Wrestling Legion. And you guys are front row and center. If your pulse is pounding like you just survived a Kevin Owens pop-up powerbomb, smash that thumbs up button. Crush that subscribe button and slam the bell icon so you never miss a second of the insane action here on VK Punk Wrestling. You want to crank the madness up to 11? You can find us across socials, VK Punk Wrestling, where we have exclusive content, or you can hunt me down personally, Vin C Punk, on X, TikTok, and Facebook for exclusive clips, spicy takes, and backstage shenanigans that'll keep your wrestling soul buzzing all week long. VK Punk Wrestling, we the ones for wrestling content. Before we leap into the SmackDown madness that we had on Friday night, let's give a thunderous roar to our amazing sponsor, Capco Championship Belts, crafting championship gear so epic it would make Stone Cold Steve Austin raise a beer. These aren't just belts, they're forge legends, from pixel perfect WWE replicas to custom creations that scream your story louder than a WrestleMania main event. Their belt wizard Abdul channels pure Macho Man energy, crafting every stud and stitch with swagger that could outshine the brightest spotlight. They hooked us up with the VK Punk Wrestling Championship for the channel, which is really amazing. And let me tell you, man, it could make Brock Lesnar cry, dude. Capco's also got the swag, man, to make you feel like a champ. Tees, hoodies, masks, hats that radiate main event vibes. Slide over to www.capcointernational.com to scope out their legendary lineup and drop a Vin's got your back or a Vin VK Punk sent you in the contact form for that red carpet VIP treatment. Capco hits harder than sweet chin music, so step in the ring to make sure you claim your glory now. All right, guys, so bang. All right, tonight's SmackDown, or Friday Night SmackDown, is the final pit stop before Money in the Bank Premium Live event. It's revving up like a monster truck rally in Bakersfield, man. Let's break it down with a play-by-play that's sharper than a Ric Flair's chop. Okay, so in the opening, Joe Tessitore kicks us off, hyping the Bakersfield crowd and running down tonight's stack card as we see Cody Rhodes, the women's Money in the Bank crew, Seth Rollins and his posse all strutting into the arena. Seth and his squad hit the ring right away for a promo, but the graphics flash that it's the men's Money in the Bank lineup. So you know it's about to get crowded, or at least that's what you would think. Paul Heyman hands Seth the mic as the crowd chants CM Punk. Classic, guys, classic. Seth does his usual self promoting spiel, vowing to dominate Money in the Bank, control the entire wrestling universe, and the crowd canters with OTC chants. Seth dismisses them as irrelevant. Ouch. He promises to drag the fans into the future by force if needed, but then boom, Solo Sikoa's music hits, and he comes out flanked by Jacob Fatu and JC Mateo, and they storm the apron and step into the ring like he owns it. Solo's mic work is pure fire, however, calling out Seth's crew and daring anyone to stop him. This guy's charisma is like a cheat code. If you don't vibe with Solo, check your pulse, guys. I'm telling you, he's a lot better than anybody gives him credit for. Okay, Seth warns Solo to choose his words carefully, but the Solo doubles down, promising to snatch the Money in the Bank briefcase. Seth, feeling the heat, takes a jab at Solo's crew, saying only Fatu. It's only Fatu. The only Fatu that he's worried about is not Solo. Seth calls off his attack. It seems like Braun Breaker was ready to go, and Seth kind of calls him off, and they exit. But Jimmy Uso ambushes the new bloodline from behind. We go to commercial right then, but then when we're back, Jimmy Uso versus JC Mateo is already underway. Jimmy got control early, working the crowd like a seasoned vet, but you can feel the tide turning. JC battles back, showing off his agility, and Solo is trash talking from ringside is just a chef's kiss. Jimmy fights hard, but JC shuts him down repeatedly. Jeff Cobb's ability to steal the show, standing moonsault anyone, what It's amazing to see him do it. Jimmy gets a hot run, but Solo and Fatu's interference backfires when JC accidentally splashes Fatu on the apron, letting Jimmy sneak a roll-up win. So this, of course, we're going to give a yay to. This segment was an absolute masterclass in wrestling storytelling, blending fiery promos, intense character work, and a match that kept you guessing. Solo Sikoa's character is a rare gem, guys. His menacing aura, sharp mic skills, and his unique presence sets him apart in a sea of cookie cutter stars. Critics who don't see his potential are missing the forest for the trees. He's a future main eventer who plays his roles with surgical precision. The opening promo was a chess match with Seth's arrogance clashing against Solo's calculated intensity, and the Fatu Breaker stare down added layers of intrigue. The Jimmy JC match was a narrative roller coaster. JC's dominance made Jimmy's underdog comeback feel earned, and the distraction finish was a brilliant swerve. I expected a squash, but this outcome was smarter, planting seeds for the new bloodline fractures. Fatu's accidental splash was the perfect catalyst for hitting at his potential rebellion against Solo. This segment wasn't just good, it was a blueprint of how to build anticipation for a PLE, delivering drama, action, stakes in spades. Yay for setting the table for Money in the Bank with a feast of chaos. This was an amazing thing. So next we go backstage, and Zelina and Julia are kind of cutting a promo, hyping a U.S. title program that hasn't really hit yet, so we don't know, kind of getting it set up. But then Chelsea Green's music hits, and the Secret Service escort Piper Niven for her match against Zelina. We go to commercial, but post-commercial, we catch Fatu backstage, where Damian Priest kind of calls him out for a shot against the U.S. title. Fatu's back of the line is called. In the ring, Piper's power dominates early, tossing Zelina outside. Zelina grabs a kendo stick, however, to even the odds and take control. Piper counters with a brutal electric chair face slam to the apron. Wow, guys. After the break, Piper's choking Zelina with a chain and slamming her around. Zelina reverses a slam into a DDT into a chair. Piper's sell is chef's kiss. Zelina's moonsaults the entire crew on the outside, but Piper catches her off an avalanche code red attempt. Alba Fire interferes, pulling Zelina off of a pin, and the heels set up a table. Piper preps a Vader bomb, but Julia runs in, nails Piper with a kendo stick, and Zelina is able to powerbomb Piper through the table for the win. Julia raises Zelina's arm and then turns on her and gives her the business. So it was really easy to talk, or it wasn't really easy to talk through all of this. A lot of power bombs and Pipers, really hard stuff. But anyway, for the match itself and the segment, definitely gets a yay. This match was a chaotic delight that showcased both women's strength while advancing a juicy storyline. Piper Niven's ability to take massive top rope bumps is her superpower. She makes every high-risk spot look like it's a car crash, and her work here elevated Zelina's scrappy underdog vibe. That being said, Zelina as a champion still feels like a stretch. Her in-ring work is kind of solid, but her character lacks a spark to carry a title convincingly. The kendo stick and chain spots added gritty edge, and the outside interference from Chelsea Green and Alba Fire kept the heels' heat strong without derailing the match. Julia's post-match betrayal was the cherry on top, setting up a feud that could steal the show down the line. My only gripe is the line of potentially retaining over Julia feels like a booking misstep, so I hope we don't go that way. Julia's momentum is white hot right now, and she deserves the spotlight. Still, this was a high-energy brawl with enough twists to keep the crowd buzzing, and it hyped the U.S. title program beautifully. Yay for delivering a fun, story-driven match that leaves you wanting to see what's next. Good job, guys. Woo! Okay, so the next thing we get is backstage. Jey Uso, Cody, and Jimmy check on Jey. Cody and Jimmy Uso check on Jey before a creepy Aleister Black vignette sets up a Shinsuke Nakamura feud. Then a graphic hypes Black versus LA Knight for tonight. Why book this when neither can lose, though? I already know that that's going to be the outcome. When they say Aleister Black versus LA Knight, you booked yourself into a corner here. You know that neither one can lose. Knight is in the Money in the Bank themed green shirt, though. Is that some foreshadowing? Maybe it is. Hypes the ladder match with classic swagger, roasting Seth Rollins extra hard. Black's epic entrance follows, and after the break, the bell rings. It's a technical clinic with mirroring reversals until both spill outside off of a botched springboard spot. Um, Looked really rough. Black nails a springboard moonsault, eventually earning a "This is awesome" chance. Knight hits a burning hammer, but Seth Rollins storms in, stomping Knight for a DQ finish. Rollins' crew, Braun Breaker and Reed, lay out Knight with a spear and a senton. So, of course, this gets boo. I already told you before the match started, I knew it was going to go to a no contest, or it was going to be some kind of shenanigans or schmoz finish. This match was shaping up to be a five-star classic, two of wrestling's most charismatic stars trading stiff strikes and slick reversals in a masterclass of ring psychology. Aleister's black otherworldly presence and LA Knight's cocky charisma meshed perfectly, and the crowd was eating it up. The springboard moonsault and the burning hammer were highlight reel moments, and the "This is awesome" chants were well earned. So why the boo? The schmoz ending was a gut punch, man. Hot Night in with Knight in the Money in the Bank match and Black on a hot streak, a clean finish was off the table from the beginning. But a DQ via Seth's interference felt lazy, man. It robbed fans of a proper climax and left both stars looking weaker than they should have. Booking this match was a trap from the start. Neither could afford a loss, so why not save it for a bigger stage? Just book a different match with different people. These two have undeniable chemistry, and I'm salivating at a rematch with real stakes, maybe at a PLE where they can go all out. The action was phenomenal, but the finish was a creative cop-out that dimmed an otherwise an electric encounter. Boo for dropping the ball on this potential show stealer. Sorry, guys. All of this stuff is real easy for me to say today. I'm having problems. You gotta excuse me. All right, so both GMs next hype up the King and the Queen of the Ring tournaments backstage. Then Byron Saxton interviews Jade Cargill, who's pumped for the Queen of the Ring. And I could see her winning Queen of the Ring, to be honest with you. Charlotte and Tiffany Stratton crashed that party, though, setting up more drama. Tiffany's promo in the ring, however, hypes her Money in the Bank legacy and trashes this year's field, drawing a massive pop for Rhea Ripley. All six women, Rhea, Naomi, Julia, Roxanne Perez, Stephanie Vacour, and Alexa Bliss, hit the ring to promote Money in the Bank. The match kicks off with Julia and Vacour trading slick reversals. Naomi tags in, but the heels take control with dirty tactics. Bliss gets a hot tag, and Rhea follows, exploding the crowd with a wild run. This match breaks down, and Rhea sets up Riptide, but Roxanne reverses into a killer DDT. Perez is on fire lately, guys. Naomi abandons Perez in the ring with all the other people, who she eats a flurry of finishes and, of course, takes the pin for the loss. So this, obviously, gets the A. This was the perfect go-home match to hype the women's Money in the Bank. A high-octane sprint that gave every competitor a moment to shine while keeping the stakes clear. The chemistry between Julia and Vacour set a technical tone, while Rhea's hot tag run was pure main event energy. Roxanne Perez's DDT reversal on Rhea was a star-making moment, proving she can hang with the big dogs. Naomi ditching Perez was a hilarious heel move that added drama without overshadowing the face's win. The finish was clean and decisive, which is critical for a pre-PLE match, and Perez taking the fall protected the bigger names while setting her up for an underdog arc. Every spot felt purposeful. From the heels' dirty tactics to the faces' synchronized rhythm moves, this match didn't just promote Money in the Bank, it made you believe every woman could win that briefcase. Yay for a chaotic, fun, and perfectly executed showcase that left the crowd hype for tomorrow, and us at home. Okay, we get a little Legado del Fantasma promo, hype words for Worlds Collide. Then Byron interviews American Made, Andrade and Penta interrupt. This, of course, leads to Aldis booking a tag match. In the ring, the Luchadors dominate early with flashy moves, but the Creeds power shift the tide. Julia's stepstone knee is brutal, but Penta's fight back, and Vikingo in the crowd neutralizes Gable's interference. The match breaks down, and Penta and Andrade score the win with teamwork. Post-match, Seth Rollins' crew attacks, demolishing the Money in the Bank stars with stomps and tsunamis from Reed. Wade Barrett yelling tsunami. The way he yells tsunami is just amazing. When Barrett left and we got stuck with Pat McAfee and Pat McAfee would try to do it, it just didn't work. It's so good to hear Wade Barrett shouting tsunami again. It's an amazing line from him. So anyway, yay. This tag match was a textbook example of how to balance in-ring action with storytelling. Penta and Andrade's high-flying chemistry was electric, and their early dominance showcased their star power. The Creeds, meanwhile, keep leveling up with every single match that they are in. Julius's stepstone knee and Brutus's heavy hands scream future champions, man. The outside interference from Gable and Vikingo was perfectly timed, adding chaos without hijacking the match. You know what I mean? The finish felt earned, and Penta and Andrade's teamwork shining through. Saving Seth Cruz's attack for post-match was a stroke of genius, letting the match stand on its own while advancing the Money in the Bank feud. Wade Barrett yelling "Tsunami" was the icing on the cake and reminding us why he is a commentary legend. I love that guy. This segment checked every box. Great wrestling, clear winning, and a post-match angle that built the heat brilliantly for Money in the Bank. Yay for a match that fired on all cylinders and left you pumped for the premium live event. Okay, so next, Paul Heyman grabs a mic and calls Bakerfield bitches. Oh my God. Excuse me, guys. And declares his crew the future, predicting Money in the Bank domination. Cody Rhodes interrupts, going nose to nose with Seth, but Jey Uso's music hits. Jay's slow crowd entrance feels risky. Seth's crew could have jumped Cody and been done, and would have had nothing to do. Jay would have been stuck in the crowd battling his way to the ring. They do back off, though, and after the break, Cody asks Bakerfield, what you want to talk about. The crowd eats up that I hate that stuff, and the yeet nonsense, too. Cena's music hits, and he demands his special intro, milking the chance. Logan Paul sneaks in, attacking Jay, but Cena and Paul handle the baby faces. Paul botches a frog splash, however, but nails it on Uso eventually. Cena declares he's ruining wrestling with Logan as a champ, in a way. Genius heel work, however. And the crowd chants for him. Truth one-liner steals the show. I'm sorry. There's, so you want our truth? Well, let me tell you our truth. You can't handle the truth. It was all our truth lead-in, and I knew it. I called it to who I was sitting with from the second it started. I said, that's an our truth line. They're already teasing it. And later on, Cena and Paul stand tall with the titles. So this segment gets a yay, especially because it hints towards an R-Truth return, with Cena making R-Truth reference. R-Truth, our truth, R-Truth. It's all the same thing. But this segment was a storytelling masterpiece that blended old school drama with modern flair. Cena's ruining wrestling arc is a stroke of genius. His heel turn has reinvigorated his character, and pairing him with Logan Paul as a controversial champ is a narrative dynamite. I mean, the crowd's R-Truth chants show WWE's listening to fans, and his one-liners added levity without derailing the tension. Paul Heyman's promo was classic Paul E. Cody's interruption kept the babyface heat strong. The only hiccup was Jay's slow entrance, which felt like a plot hole. Why not, jump to the ring or run down the ramp, especially when it looked like Cody was about to get handed by two guys. But the chaos that followed from Paul's botched, then landed frog splash to Cena's bold proclamation made this a home run. Critics might hate on Logan, but his in-ring talent and heat magnet status are undeniable. This wasn't just a segment. It was a mission statement for Cena's heel run and a bold step towards a divisive title reign. Yay for a segment that took risks, told a compelling story, and set the stage for an epic fallout. Woo! So overall, I would say that SmackDown as a whole gets a yay. And if you need to know why, you can go back and watch the last 20 minutes of this video. Okay, so we get to Money in the Bank. Now we're at Money in the Bank. Money in the Bank starts off with the women's Money in the Bank match, right? And the entrances set the stage for a wild ladder match. Early chaos sees Stephanie Vacour run hot until Naomi lands a ladder-assisted kick. Alexa, Julia, and Rhea take turns dominating, with Rhea dispatching Julia like a boss. Perez pulls off a jaw-dropping Hurricane Rana reversal onto Rhea that looked brutal, much like her DDT reversal from last night, except for this one looked a little bit more unsure. I thought at first Roxanne's head went straight into the ladders because of whatever Rhea was doing, but then it turned out that she had kind of caught Rhea's head with her feet and turned it into a Hurricane Rana. Very confusing without commentary telling you what happened and trying to put it together. It looked really weird while it was going on. Um, Rhea gets buried under a ladder while Perez and Julia team up to take out Alexa, only for Perez to betray Julia later on. Rhea rises, ragging everyone, but Bliss and Perez hit stereo code reds. At the top, Naomi topples the ladder and snags the briefcase to a massive pop. Yay for this. And I'll tell you what, at first I didn't like Naomi's win, but what a pop she got for winning. The crowd really want her to win, and I thought when Stephanie Vacour was climbing and almost at the top, the crowd started to pop a lot. But when Naomi got up there, man, the crowd really started to pop. They really wanted her to win. And then when she got it, man, it was like the place went AWOL. But the thing is, I can't tell if it was piped in, like a piped in pop, or if it was the actual crowd making all that noise. But this match was a high octane spot fest that delivered everything you want from a ladder match. Death defying bumps, creative spots, and surprising finish. The stereo code reds and the Riptide Abigail DDT combo were visual candy, showcasing the women's athleticism and chemistry. Roxanne Perez's Hurricane Ronald reversal was a star-making moment, and Rhea's ladder bomb added drama. Her Naomi's win through though raises eyebrows. Her in-ring work is solid, but not on par with Julia or Rhea, and her new catchphrase is forgettable. Commentary stat about 100% success in the women's Money in the Bank cash-in suggests that Naomi might be the first to fail, which could be a bold equality move, depending on how you look at it. Alternatively, she needed the briefcase more than her opponents, who have clear paths. Julia has the U.S. title feud in the future. Rhea and Alexa's main event status don't even require them to have a prop in order to be at the top of the card. Perez has the Judgment Day arc. I mean, the match was perfectly paced, and every woman getting a moment to shine, and the ladder spots felt fresh and dangerous from the women. The only lingering question is Naomi's target next. Will it be Tiffy, or will it be Io, or do we wait until one of those titles changes hands? But as of right now, who would she target? But this match was a thrilling opener that set a high bar. Yay for the women's Money in the Bank match, because the women are delivering on every single level lately. And that is going to continue shortly. So Dominic Mysterio was at Worlds Collide earlier in the day and set up a match with Octagon Jr. For Money in the Bank. So this match wasn't originally on the card. It only made it to the card earlier in the day. But Dominic challenges Octagon Jr. to a match at Money in Bank for Dominic's Intercontinental Championship. You know, this was just a pretty quick match. It didn't really, right? So Dom defends his title against Octagon Jr., who starts hot with Lucifer. Dom shuts it down, taunting the AAA crew at ringside. Octagon fights back, but Dom's distraction leads to a 619 and a splash for the win. So this obviously gets a yay. This was a short but sweet showcase that proved Dominic Mysterio is more than a cowardly heel who always runs away from a fight. His technical work shone through, and Octagon Jr.'s lucha flair added spice. The match didn't overstay its welcome, serving as a perfect mid-card breather between ladder matches. Dom's taunting the AAA crew's presence added stakes without overwhelming the action. The 619 splash finish was a crisp, reinforcing Dom's credibility as a champ. This wasn't a game changer, but it was a fun, well-executed sprint that kept the crowd engaged and highlighted both men's skills. Yay for a match that punched above its weight and kept the card's momentum rolling. So next, we go right back into the women's division. All right, and Lyra attacks Becky pre-bell during the in-ring introductions for this championship match. Sets a fierce tone for the match, and Lyra dominates early, but Becky's trash talk and control take over. We get some cool reversals that lead to a double down, then Lyra's swinging neck breaker and fisherman suplex get a near fall. But Becky's armbar and Lyra's unique submission that looked like a one-legged lion tamer, really cool stuff, really kept it intense. Lyra's box jump leg drop off the announce table to a draping Becky on the barricade was wild. But Becky's powerbomb gets a near fall. The crowd chants for R-Truth as Becky hits a second rope manhandle slam, but Lyra kicks out, surprising everybody. Lyra's Nightwing on the outside and a roll-up exchange end with Becky pulling the tights for the win. Post-match, Becky forces Lyra to raise her arms and strap on the belt, but Lyra snaps, hitting a German suplex and a Nightwing. So this one kind of goes both ways. We're going to give it a yay because the action in the storytelling was really amazing. I mean, Becky and Lyra put on a masterclass here. This match was a technical marvel. Two Irish stars showing why they are amongst the best in the world. The chemistry was off the chart, and Lyra's fiery aggression matched Becky's veteran savvy. And spots like the box jump, leg drop, and second rope manhandle slam were jaw-dropping. The reversals and near falls kept the crowd on the edge, and Cole and Barrett's commentary brawl added flavor. So why the boo? The roll-up finish. Boo, dude. With the tights pulling, felt like a cheap way to give Becky a win, undermining her status as a top star against somebody who already has 2 clean wins over her, but she had to get a roll-up win with a handful of tights. A decisive pin would have cemented her dominance, especially as Intercontinental Champion. I don't get this. Post-match, Becky's humiliation of Lyra was compelling, but Lyra's retaliation needed more venom. Imagine her sending Becky to hospital and cutting a promo about moral victory that would have elevated Lyra's loss to a defining moment. Instead, the finish in the aftermath felt like a missed opportunity to make a good match great. Still, the in-ring work was stellar and the story progressed, so it earns a yay, with a side of boo for not sticking the landing. Okay, so guys, we are really starting to get into the end of the night. The men's Money in the Bank match is a long ride, so please ride this one out with me. After all the entrances, the bell rings, and everyone swarms Seth. Everybody just kind of circles him. Andrade, LA Knight, and Penta really take to him, while Solo just kind of stands in the corner, and Americano actually gets out of the ring. They all kind of stomp him out, and then they turn to Solo, and Solo just kind of throws him out of the ring. So Penta super kicks him after Solo's trying to like align with everybody. Hey. And doing everything, man. Anyway, once again, if you don't like Solo, you are out of your mind. Penta's super kick and crossbody clear the ring, but Americano's ladder attack shift the momentum. Rollins nails Penta with a ladder, and Andrade eats a ladder dive. Solo's power slam and Knight's scorpion death drop on ladders keep the chaos high. All 4 men brawl atop the ladders, trading strikes. Seth's pedigree and Solo's Samoan spike take out Penta and Americano. Seth drop toe holds Solo into a ladder, but Americano traps Seth in an ankle lock on the ladder. Andrade's sunset flip bomb and Penta's Mexican destroyer on the ladders are disgusting. Absolutely gross, man. So nasty. Solo mocks Penta's walk. Hilarious. Like I said, you don't like this guy. Nobody likes this guy, but man, he's great. Knight bridges a ladder to the barricade, but Americano's spinning fireball ladder attack steals the show. Penta and Seth trade blows atop the ladder, but Seth's crew clears the ring. Jacob Fatu betrays Solo, however, with a super kick and a moonsault, putting him through the ladder. Seth capitalizes on all of this, stomping Knight after Knight tries to make one final stop from Seth grabbing the briefcase, and Seth Rollins, climbs the ladder and wins the briefcase. So yay. This Money in the Bank match was probably the men's match of the year. Money in the Bank match of the decade, probably. Every competitor brought their A game, delivering a breathless, breakneck brawl that never let up. Penta's Mexican destroyer on a ladder was a holy cow moment, and America's fireball ladder spin was pure insanity, even though I don't understand why people go for this spot. You see a guy in the ring spinning with a ladder on his neck, just don't go in. Just wait. It's not like a vortex or tornado. You're not getting sucked into it. Solo Sikoa's character work was next level. His mocking strut and taunting cadence are why he's a star that nobody likes for some reason. Haters who don't get his appeal are blind to his unique charisma and his in-ring storytelling. Jacob Fatu's betrayal was perfectly executed, adding emotional weight without overshadowing the match. Seth's win set up high-stakes cash-in, though I predict he'll botch it, maybe. And the pacing ensured that no one's disappeared for long unless they were murdered by a big spot. Unlike the women's match, which was great, the men felt like a war with every ladder bump and strike carrying weight. The only nitpick here is Seth's crew clearing the ring tipped the scales too easily. But Fatu's swerve balanced it out, kinda. This match was a masterclass in controlled chaos, blending athleticism, drama, and comedy. Solo doing his thing, man. He's so good. Into a PLE highlight. Yay for a match that redefined what Money in the Bank can be. So, next, which was really surprising to me that it went on last and not before the men's Money in the Bank, is the tag team match between John Cena, Logan Paul versus Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso. Really thought the men's Money in the Bank would be the last match on the card and the main event, but this is, and there's a reason why it is, and you're gonna find out in just a bit. Right, so Cena and Cody start off and they circle, but Cena tags Logan in immediately. Paul's flip and Cody's Stardust cartwheel get laughs. Jay's pop-up neck breaker and Cody's cutter keep the baby faces hot. Cena and Paul argue for a little while in the middle there, letting Cody clear the ring. Paul botches a money clip lariat and Jay super kicks him. Cody's crossroads and Jay's spear rock the heels. Paul's drone-assisted superplex and Jey Uso's splash on the drone cam. That was a pretty good spot because, for one, why did Paul even hold on to the drone as he was getting suplexed? But then to see Jay hit the splash out of nowhere, man, that was good stuff. Jay spears Cena through a commentary desk, and a hooded figure, it's R-Truth, ladies and gentlemen, attacks Cena with the title. Cody hits Crossroads and gets the win off of the R-Truth attack, so yay. Guys, I was not ready to like this match as much as I did. I wasn't happy that it was going on last as the main event. I wasn't happy that we weren't getting the Money in the Bank ladder match for the men's side as the main event. But this tag match was a chaotic masterpiece that capped Money in the Bank with a bang. You want to know how you follow 2 Money in the Bank matches? This is how you do it. John Cena's heel arc is career-defining pivot. His ruining wrestling narrative, paired with Logan Paul's divisive champion push, is storytelling at its boldest. R-Truth's surprise return was a stroke of genius, answering weeks of fan chants and online buzz, and the only thing that saved this match from being in the main event spot, the drum cam for the suplex and the Uso splash added cinematic flair, and the commentary desk spear was PLE worthy spot. Cody and Jay's babyface fire kept the crowd hot, while Paul's botched then landed move showed his resilience. The only minor flaw was Cena and Paul's argument dragging slightly, but it served the story pretty well. This match could have been overshadowed by the Money in the Bank ladder wars, but Truth's swerve and the high energy action made it worthy of the main event. Critics might scoff at Paul, but his in-ring work is championship caliber, and Cena's heel run is must-see TV. Yay for a main event that delivered shock spots and a perfect narrative climax that overcame following 2 Money in the Bank matches, man. Good stuff, guys. Really good stuff. So for the overall weekend, of course, we get a big yay for the whole weekend and all of the events that WWE put on. Even though we didn't discuss Worlds Collide here on this channel, on this video, Worlds Collide is a must-see event, and you should go watch it. I know I didn't cover it. It's not part of the main roster chronology, so I don't cover it. It's just a really rad weekend, from SmackDown's Red Hot Go Home show to the Money in the Bank Ladder Fast Insanity. This weekend was a wrestling fever dream, guys. Solo star power, R-Truth's return, and non-stop action made it unforgettable. The yays far outweigh the boos, with every match and segment pushing stories forward and hyping the future. If you're not hyped, were you even watching what I was watching? And I don't think a lot of you are, because I really have a hard time believing that some of y'all don't see the gold and the absolute gold that is Solo Sikoa. All right, Wrestling Renegades, let's take a breather outside of the ropes for a minute, man, because sometimes life can hit you like a Brock Lesnar F5. Work stress, family chaos, or those inner demons cutting promos in your head, but you're tougher than the last man standing match and fiercer than Rhea Ripley on a Rampage, man. mental health struggle, or just another heel to squash, man, you don't need a title belt to fight back. Take it one step, one deep breath, one flying elbow drop at a time. Tag in a buddy and spill your heart to someone you trust, or roar like you're cutting a promo in front of 80,000 fans, even if it's just going outside your front door and shouting to the world, I'm still here. The VK Punk Wrestling crew's got your back, however, cheering louder than a Royal Rumble pop. Your story is the main event, so keep fighting, keep shining, and never tap out, ladies and gentlemen. All right, Wrestling Renegades, you guys just survived a 5-star brawl with VK Punk Wrestling, and we're pumped to have you in our corner, as a matter of fact. But before we drop the mic and set the arena ablaze, let's keep the party raging. Drop your wildest Raw predictions, spiciest SummerSlam hot takes, anything about any of the events this weekend down in that comment section. Make some make some noise and leave some wrestling love. Make this place pop louder than a CM Punk return. Slam that subscribe button and rally your crew to join the rebellion by sharing all of this. You can track us down on X, Facebook, and TikTok for more unfiltered chaos. I'm Vin C Punk, and this is VK Punk Wrestling. We won the bingo, and we're going to the moon. VK Punk Wrestling, we the ones for wrestling content. Stay fierce, stay loud, keep eating, chin up, tits out, and deuces, ooses. See y'all next time.